I'm Greg Nisbet from Mediazoic, and I'm here on the Tuesday morning after Canadian Thanksgiving up on the rooftop of Toronto's Centre for Social Innovation. And I'm here to talk with Joan Prowse of GreenHeroesTV, which is a web and TV project that tells the stories of celebrities and other remarkable people who've turned ideas into action to help our planet.
Hey, Greg.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Greg.
Nice to meet you. I'm Joan.
Hi, Joan. Nice to meet you too. Thanks so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here.
Joan, can you start off and just tell us a little bit about GreenHeroes.tv and what you're hoping to accomplish with the project?
GreenHeroes.tv is actually a transmedia project, so it's going to exist on multiple platforms. It's basically a television show, and our background at Cinefocus Canada is to produce television programs and documentaries, but it's also going to be existing as a web channel, and we've created these 2 to 3 minute webisodes which are at the center of the web channel, and they're meant to be shared. So it's a real kind of experiment in using the new media platforms just to tell great stories about innovative thinkers and people who acted on their ideas and have actually had very positive effects for the environment.
Now, with my company's involvement in music, I'm particularly interested in the music side of things, so I'm going to ask you a couple music-related questions.
Okay.
What are your criteria for selecting a musician or a band that might be eligible as a Green Hero?
Well, usually what we're looking for when we're doing our research is people that have basically acted on an issue that affected them. So 2 of the musicians that I'm thinking of particularly are Sarah Harmer and Gord Downey, and the show that they're in is called In My Backyard. And it's really, really interesting about Sarah and Gord is that they actually had the same villain, if you want to look at the hero kind of structure, and that was a cement company. And in Sarah's case, she's protecting part of the Niagara Escarpment called Mount Nemo, and Gord actually had a big success working in conjunction with Waterkeeper to stop an environmental test that was being conducted by the same cement company to see what if they could burn tires as alternate fuels. It's really interesting how they use their music and they use their celebrity to reach out. So in Sarah's case, she actually puts on a concert every fall, and she has, connections to big name artists. And in the concert that we filmed, she had Bruce Cockburn and Leslie Feist.
And let's take things from the fan side for a second. How does a music fan sort of nominate or suggest a musician or band that they feel is worthy of the honor of being a Green Hero?
Oh, it's great. We have, this is what I love about the new media, is that you can actually invite people to share stories too. So my story ideas don't just have to come from a team of researchers, that now we can actually reach out to, fans and musicians and all over the world. And basically they just come to greenheroes.tv, they press on the nominate button, and then they just tell a story. We ask 5 questions, what was the inspiration for the action of your hero? What was some of the challenges that they faced? What was the ultimate success? And then they upload it to our contest page, and then other people can come to that page and they can vote on different stories. And we have things by categories, and then basically it's crowdsourced. So the heroes that rise to the top then become category winners, and we have a jury competition, which is the next part, and those people who win the jury competition actually get put on TV.
Now, I love the fact that there's a really interesting cross-section of musicians that you have on here. There's, some that have been on major labels, there's indie, there's different genres, that type of thing. Is there any plan anywhere down the road? I mean, you mentioned, what Sarah Harmer does with her concert. Is there any plan to kind of incorporate things into either an existing live event or kind of an all-new live event for this type of thing?
When you think about a project, like, you think big and you think about where it can go, and so definitely we see having like a live event where we actually have a hero competition, so that the people that bubble to the top, instead of it just going to a jury, we actually make a television show or a live event where people are voting.
It can sometimes be a little bit of a challenge to I'm going to call it come out green, especially for an athlete or an artist whose brand can be worth so much. I'm curious if in your research and setting up this project, if you came across any of that with any of the musicians that you chose as Green Heroes.
No, because I think that the artists that we've selected are so passionate. I mean, I think when I talk to them about their inspiration, there's this epiphany, this moment that gets them to act. But I think that in their heart, they've always been attached to the environment. So if I think about Gord Downie, for example, his epiphany was when he heard Robert Kennedy Jr. speak. And Robert Kennedy Jr. is the founder of the Waterkeepers Alliance. And Robert Kennedy said, the lake belongs to us. It belongs to everyone. It's not owned by anyone. And that was like the turning point for him. So that he had that information in his head. And then when he found out about the situation that was taking place on his waterfront in Bath, Ontario, the organization knew how to act.
It's become a little bit fashionable for celebrities in general, and certainly musical celebrities, to support green causes. What have some of your musical green heroes done to walk the walk, as it were, and show that in their, not only in their careers but in their lives, that they're really committed to these environmental issues?
I can tell you about another green hero who's a musician. It's Bruce Cockburn, and he wrote that song "When a Tree Falls" prior to the Clayoquot Sound protests, which were back in 1993. And I remember his manager, Bernie Finkelstein, saying to me, you know what, he took a big risk back then, because the environment was not top of the agenda, it wasn't top of mind. And and I think there was like a lot of concern that people were going to see him as a granola bar type, right? But it was something that he had to do. Like, he had to write the song, and now it's like it became the anthem for those protests. And I think that you have to have a music bed, for any great movement. If you think about the 60s,
great term.
yeah,
Yes,
there has to be a music track to it. And and that's what I find is so great about doing musicians, because they are able to take a message and put it like in a 3-minute song, and basically just inspire people to act. And that's why music is such a big part of Green Heroes, is that we're using well-known musicians, but we're also using indie artists, and we're creating our own music track. So each one of our webisodes has music that is by an indie Canadian artist, for the most part. And what we want to do eventually is create a music CD. And we're also excited about things that Mediazoic is doing, ways to actually stream the music online.
Sounds like an incredible project. Where can people find out more information?
Well, they can first of all go to GreenHeroes.tv. So the next phase is going to be to release the TV shows, which start November 2nd on TVO at 7 p.m. And then we'll be rolling out the music CD starting in January. And then, as far as the music goes, we want to also share that, just like we're sharing the videos. And so we'll have it on different music streaming websites, like your own, for example.
Well, if there's anything we can do to help, please let me know. Joan, thank you so much
you're welcome.
for joining me today.